Impressions Part 1.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of CGC. Today we stopped by Miami to have a little bit of fun, and you know, while I was out here I had to pick something up that was kind of entertaining. We have a 2016 M4 today. I'm here with my lovely girlfriend. We will be enjoying the sights and also seeing what the M Division has to offer in a drop top. You hear the exhaust behind me. Very surprised overall at how put together the M4 feels. It manages to give you a good sense of rambunctiousness and rawness while also being very, very refined. I'm really enjoying the suspension. It's soft and comfortable, yet also firm and encouraging. Now, one interesting thing about the transmission in this car, again, it is not the smoothest. It is very responsive depending on what setting you're going to place it in. It can get pretty lazy if you wish it to be. However, it is pretty responsive when you're driving aggressively or flat out.
F83 M4 Driving Impressions Part 2.
I think this car drives most smooth when you're trying to drive it very, very aggressively. It's actually pretty hard when you're in the most aggressive sports mode, the most aggressive M mode, to drive this car smooth at lower speeds. The throttle is pretty touchy, and because the transmission will actually jerk, you actually have this issue where at low speeds, if you're trying to kind of put half input into the throttle, you get this shaky back and forth motion. It's very, very strange, it's prominent. You would think that I'm personally doing that to the vehicle, but I'm trying to tell you, even me driving here with my lovely girlfriend trying to drive slow, just trying to be non-aggressive and cruise through the city, it happens all the time. It's something that's really weird. Being a DCT, I expected it to be a little bit more smooth, but the rawness is rewarding. I usually drive a 6MT, so I'm used to the vibrations, used to the, abrupt starts, maybe not super smooth starts, but again, it contributes to the character of what the M4 is. Again, it has a high level of refinement, but you still get those elements of rawness. Very, very rewarding.
F83 M4 Driving Impressions Part 3.
Throttle response is very, very good. However, you can still tell this car is a turbocharged car with a inline six. It doesn't have like an ever-flowing amount of torque like a V8 where no matter what gear you're in or what RPM you're in, it's going to want to move. You definitely have to make sure you have the right amount of RPMs and make sure that you have a good amount of boost spooled up in those turbos to really get it going. This particular M4 being a Cabriolet, I'm absolutely loving it. It really gives you the best of all worlds. Right now, you see we have the top down. It's beautiful out here in southern Miami, southern Florida, and with the M4 and the BMWs being actual hard tops instead of being soft tops, if it rains or you're in a different climate environment or whatever else have you, you'll have no problem putting the top up and still enjoying yourself. With that being said, while the top being up, it being a Cabriolet and not having any B-pillars, putting all the windows down, you get this lovely open cockpit feel. Again, just a very sensory and nice experience. And in my opinion, it kind of makes up for these newer BMWs with their lack of feedback in their steering wheels or their steering systems. Even in this M4, it feels just, it just feels vague. I can't put any other words into it. In my opinion, you get much more feedback through like throttle response and through the chassis and the suspension themselves.
83 M4 Driving Impressions Part 4.
Pedals themselves are very appropriately spaced. I could tell, and you could buy this M4 model, this 2016 model, obviously in a manual transmission. BMW still offers manual transmissions only in the newer M3s and M4s in North America. So the manuals are still around in these cars, and I can just tell if this was a 6MT, the pedals are in a perfect position for you to heel toe your way like a hero around the city or the track if you so wished. The exhaust on the M4 is probably one of my favorite features. It sounds lovely. It sounds lovely revving. It sounds lovely on downshifts. It sounds lovely when you're banging out gears. And they just did a really good job of matching raspiness with also giving it a decent level of volume without it being too obnoxious. Again, my biggest thing with the newer BMWs and these M cars is really like what you're looking for. If you're an individual looking for refinement and you're okay with softness, cruising, GT type cars, then these newer M cars are probably the vehicles for you. I would say except for some of the smaller ones, like the really aggressive M2s, M2 competitions. I would say those are really along the lines of the proportions that you would want from an actual sports car. These bigger M4s, the M5s, the M6s, they just don't give you that tight sport car feel when you're driving them. In my opinion, they're just too big, too heavy, but don't get me wrong, they're still very, very fast.